అందరికీ నమస్కారం. A very good afternoon to all. Slightly delay in the program. Basically, I was occupied in some other session. To all the leaders and to all the architects who have built this nation and who have built this beautiful city and who have built this state of Telangana. All are here. We welcome you all, including the sectoral heads who are sitting on the dais and the various associations who represent industry, enterprises, real estate, CII, and also IGBC here, National President Mr. Shekhar Reddy here, Credawai, Naredco, Telangana Builders Association. I've been joined by my MD, who is also the Managing Director of this Future City Development Authority, Mr. Shashanka, and many officers are also there of the days. You know, today is the second day where we were and holding this Global Economic Summit. Our purpose and agenda, as yesterday we have ascribed, is to unveil what is our vision, what is our action plan, and how do we reach what we have dreamt. That is the vision document of 2047. In few hours from now, our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Revanth Reddy, will unveil the vision document of 2047 of Telangana. In the process, you know, when we have formed the government exactly 2 years back, and when we have a competition in the changing atmosphere, in terms of industries, in terms of technology, in terms of building cities, in terms of providing drinking safe water, in terms of providing and giving the fresh air, and to create a sustainable livelihood for all the people of Telangana specifically. You know, we have analyzed many factors which we have taken into account. One is the factor where we have seen in many cities the congestion of cities which the cities couldn't able to bear in terms of the traffic mobility, in terms of the resources what need to be given to the citizens have become a great challenge. This challenge has thrown us literally what should we do next in the geopolitical situation, in the times of technological disruptions, and to create a sustainable development in the city. Then we came upon an idea of creating, of constructing a city with net zero concept. Maybe, you know, our ambitions and dreams from yesterday till now, many elders who have been there on the government side too, would have been thinking that they are just thinking above the mountain. But we would like to take this challenge, and that is how we took the challenge of this construction of this future city. We know there will be many challenges. The future city, which shall encompass, you know, the critical growth corridor, and which has been featured, you know, a well-planned alternative city of the growing and migrating people to Hyderabad. Many a time we have seen the real Hyderabad, the original Hyderabad, and then came the Secunderabad, then came the Cyberabad in the unit of administration. And now we are coming with the future city, Bharat Future City. When I mentioned about Cyberabad, We are visualizing this Cyberabad after a few years. And while visualizing Cyberabad or any densely populated cities elsewhere, our people should not face this problem. That's the real reason we have come up to do something which is different, and which shall be competent, and which shall be a noble city with almost zero carbon, that is net zero city. Not only in terms of coming up with a well-planned architecture featuring the architectural greatness, but this city we are just thinking which symbolizes smart infrastructure, sustainable living, and also the economic dynamism. This city shall be a resilient and shall create a scalable framework that aligns both with the state priorities and also aligns with the global urban development standards. That's the real reason we call it Bharat Future City. And under my ministry, we have an industrial infrastructure corporation that is headed by my MD, Telangana State Industrial Infrastructure Corporation, has envisioned the future city as a Hyderabad fourth nucleus. This is a flagship of 13,500 acres, which shall be totally the green development, that shall anchor new regional development and a corridor. And we are also planning for the extension of the metro, exactly positioned 25 kilometers from Rajiv Gandhi International Airport and connected via Srisalam Highway and Outer Ring Road. Everybody would see why we have selected this. This is the thing where the strategic accessibility will be there and the scale required will be there for the next generation urban and industrial center. The industrial integrated development combining a central business district, the CBD, with a diversified industrial zone, which shall leverage the Telangana economic potential by creating an industry-friendly, future-ready urban environment. I already mentioned a net zero carbon city. Future city fosters. And this shall be the place to work, to learn, to innovate, and to engage with a sustainable urban framework. And this location will be the state-of-art infrastructure positions itself as a strong destination for both the national and the international investment. If you have seen the video clip of the Bharat Future City, most of the people over here, Shekhar Reddy would agree, along with his colleagues over here, when we try to market your products, you may also have thought, the video clipping of us would have shown in that manner. But nowadays, everything is accountable, and through that, the means what we have shown in the video, we would live up to the standards what we thought about it. And that is the real reason we are throwing everything before you, how we are strategizing this future city, how you can partner with us, how you can co-create with us in this point of juncture. We have adopted
this Bharat Future City has adopted multiple strategies. Sustainable mobility. I was just having a session how we are going to create a green-blue infrastructure and site-specific design solution tailored to local context. You know, the existing local systems have been integrated into this urban fabric through comprehensive greening strategy. The Spawn City framework strengthens what any urban city faces. We would like to see, we shouldn't face, stormwater issues. So this city, we would like to literally see that there will be very resilient stormwater absorption, groundwater recharge, flood management, and also the heat mitigation through permeable services. Rain gardens will be there, the green roofs will be there, ecological corridors and buffer zones along the stream water bodies ensures the continuity of the natural habitats and prevent fragmentation of the biodiversity. Here, we have categorized zones. Each zone with Future City, we have conceptualized with a distinct identity while functioning as a part of the larger cohesive ecosystem. At the core of the center, the CBD, 6 key districts. One is Artificial Intelligence City, which comprises of 200 acres. We are coming up with Health City, which goes in consonance with a new policy brought by our government, the health tourism, which shall be useful for the growth of the real estate too. The entertainment districts, the sports hub, where we are going to create the state-of-art facilities for each and every sport. We are going to have the education zone. Yesterday, London, many universities have come to join us to sign a MOU to put up their universities in this future city. And we are going to have the eco-tourism hub. This altogether forms the commercial, technological, institutional, and the cultural heart of the city. I need not to say about AI City. This AI City, what we are planning to do is to host digital innovation and next generation cutting-edge technologies and their enterprises over here. It shall be the place for incubation. It shall be place for innovation. It shall be place for the product companies, and it will host a artificial intelligence school, that is university. That's how we are planning to build this AI city. And to the east of the AI city, there comes the health city, a comprehensive medical and wellness district, which shall integrate the super specialty hospitals, research institutions, medical education, and rehabilitation facilities. And the entertainment district shall have the multiple zones, and it shall be a leisure hub with vibrant lifestyle, accommodating retail streets, hospitality, convention facility, and the family-oriented recreation. Its center's location enhances footfalls and supports the city cultural and social life. And the sports hub, the sports district is designed as a major destination for athletes and recreation, anchored by the large cricket stadium and 18-hole golf course The district also would accommodate multi-sport training facilities, fitness center and the community level sporting infrastructure, promoting an active urban lifestyle. As I mentioned about the education zone, we shall bring universities, niche training institutes and skill development centers. And in fact, in a month's time from now, we are going to inaugurate our Young India Skills University, which is just adjacent to this site. And we shall be the pipeline. Many of our partners from Telangana knows, that university has been created to create a pool of talent. And a talent pipeline will be created for all the zones, for all the districts, what I was mentioning. And in fact, ecotourism districts, which hosts this hub, this city or joining will be the urban forestry, which we are trying to build an unparalleled ecotourism adventure right at the city's doorstep with a nature-based leisure, eco-stays, outdoor learning and adventure activities. And I'm happy to share with you, Vantara, most of the people knows, the Vantara has signed MOU to put up there one more unit into a commercial one. And for all these districts, we need a residential zone. Located in the north and also southern parts of the site, we will provide diverse housing options ranging from plotted developments to the gated communities and high-rise residences. It's planned, the neighborhoods will be planned according to the sustainable and the quiet living environment. We shall try to encompass and engulf not only the high-ended urban population, we shall try to accommodate the middle class and upper middle class, and also for the working classes, which shall be required to propel this growth center of this city. And absolutely, for all these things, we need mobility access. For this mobility, we are trying to connect the city's transit network, and also we'll try to connect the employment centers, and we would be trying to connect them by encouraging walk to work concept. And surrounding the CBD will be the industrial belt, which supports high technology and the core manufacturing sector. And this is totally will be built on the green pharma platform, which will cater to most of the things or essential required for this. This industrial ecosystem encompasses life sciences zone and electric vehicle zone, energy storage systems, electronics and advanced precision manufacturing, and a dedicated 400-acre data center districts. The mix of high-value industries positions this city as one of India's most competitive destinations for investment and also for the job creation. And in fact, we have electronics and advanced manufacturing zones here, EV and ESS zones, and in fact, data center park, which shall be in vogue by end of February. Overall, I would like to mention to the partners over here and the future partners for our city and to our state, I would like to mention this city has been conceptualized as an integrated resilient and future-ready urban system capable of accommodating a projected population of approximately 9 lakh residents and generate employment for nearly 13 lakh people. With its strategic location, robust planning framework, and sector-driven economic model, the city shall be positioned to catalyze long-term economic growth and emerge as a leading investment destination in India. So we welcome all the partners, all the elders on the dais to share their views, and this state and this administration and our Chief Minister, who holds the municipal administration, the portfolio too, and who shall be the chairman of this Bharat Future City Development Corporation. Would be more positive to hear from you, and whatever the points I mentioned before you, we have conceptualized and we would be putting them into action in our vision document of 2047. I thank all the people who have come from different destinations of the world, of our nation, and we welcome all the proud partners of our Telangana state. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm audible? So thank you so much, sir, for giving a very clear picture of, the Bharat Future City, not only from the perspective of, urban development, but also, how it's so critical, and that the concept of people-oriented neighborhoods, people-oriented cities have been so strongly incorporated in the design, planning, and the policy formulation. So as we move forward, let's also hear from our other experts, and may I request Mr. Sudeep, and just a 2-minute kind of briefing from your perspective of what BFC is all about. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for such an inspiring introduction. And I would like to, of course, congratulate the government of Telangana for this very far-sighted initiative. We are all aware that any new cities can contribute significantly to the economy of the region, whether it is in terms of government expenditure, private consumption, exports, and of course they are a large employment magnet. And in this particular case, we are certain that it will also be an innovation, a laboratory for innovation. And that's the kind of vision that we are looking at. Any initiative of this kind requires some strategic choices. And it's quite obvious that we have already made a few strategic choices, and I would just like to dwell upon some of them. If you see globally, many cities have adopted a model for a single sector or focused on a specific sector. However, in our case, we have opted for a multi-sector approach and looking at a wide range of economic activities, whether it's AI or life sciences, electronics, sports, film, etc. And I personally am a strong advocate of this multi-sectoral approach, specifically from an economic perspective. And the reason is that different sectors have their own cycles. And it is important to get a basket of such sectors together in order to nullify any negative cyclical aspects as far as the economy is concerned. Therefore, it's very important for us to look at this entire development as a portfolio approach. And I would like to kind of dwell upon this going ahead in the future also. Now, while we have chosen a certain set of sectors to be the key drivers for our economy, it's also important to understand that many of them have synergies. And while, for example, AI and life sciences, globally they are now converging. Similarly, medical diagnostics require data analytics. So there is a lot of convergence in economic activities that is happening. And while it's important for us to
Co-locate some of these sectors together.
it's also important to weave in our design some of the softer aspects as to how these sectors can interface with each other and actually contribute to the growth of the economy. So this is the first point I would like to make. Similarly, it's very important to, and this is very much a part of the design of this program, to have a skilled university. Again, there will be a lot of commonalities within different sectors as far as skill growth. So it's important for us to recognize what those commonalities are and where the differences are, and get in the right inputs so that we can phase out our interventions properly. Similarly, again, in terms of common infrastructure, I think one of the important aspects which the private sector would be looking at is how to be more cost competitive. And cost competitiveness can come again through synergies, through common infrastructure. And this is something that I would also urge the investors to frankly give their views to the government to determine what is the kind of common infrastructure that is required, what is the pricing mechanism, so that appropriate models can be developed going ahead in the future. The next very important thing in my view is, of course, the institutional design. While we have the FCDA, I think because it's a 20-year-long journey, it's important for us to kind of bring in a lot of flexibility in staffing, recruiting, getting the best people to lead such an important initiative. And I think that's going to be a very important way forward. And also how various stakeholders can be a part of the governance model is something that would be very critical as well. And the last thing I would like to mention is that this is a massive program. And a program of this nature has many moving parts, and they will continue to evolve. There will be a lot of challenges that we will face from time to time. So there needs to be a very, very strong monitoring mechanism so that we are absolutely clear on what the core indicators that we want to focus on, and how do we kind of come back if we go off track. So I will thank you again for giving me the opportunity to make this thing. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Sudeep. I think some of the key pointers or takeaways is synergies between different industries, and at the same time, don't put your eggs in the same basket, diversify. With that, may I ask, Sandeep to give a perspective from real estate.
Thank you, Vishal, Honorable Minister, and my friends on the dais and off the dais. A wonderful audience. To start with, I've been to many state government initiative summits, but I can say, Honorable Minister, one of the best I have seen in last 5-7 years, very well organized. As Vishal has given me just 2 minutes, so I'll try to wrap it up. I don't think in recent past, at least in 10-15 years, any state government has imagined of to do a project of this scale, 13,500 square kilometers. It is something mind-blowing, is something very, very ambitious, and it needs a lot of guts, a lot of vision to even think of that. So at first level, I think success comes when you start visualizing it, and at the first step we have achieved that, visualizing that 13,500 square kilometers of a city by itself. Secondly, I'll say, we at JLL, we are there to help the government and to bring a lot of our clients, do a road show for this Bharat Future City, educate all our clients across the world, right from Japan to South Korea to US, all the industrial clients, all the logistic clients, clients in AI, data center, about Bharat Future City and what is there in the Bharat Future City, how able is the government, how proactive is the government, and convince them and bring it to to Telangana to invest. That is something we, as one of the stakeholders and JLL, we can do to help the Bharat City, future Bharat City being successful. We have seen most of the metros, the success has happened predominantly in and around ITS. I think we have to change that thought process. Yes, ITS, I talk of GCCs and IT companies is very important, and that's what has fueled the services economy of India till now. But I think we have to think beyond that. I think any country cannot grow, cannot achieve its full potential unless we have the manufacturing. If we don't have an economy catering to the semi-skilled laborers. Now, Bharat Future City has a wonderful opportunity to cater to the manufacturing sector, cater to the logistics, cater to the warehousing, and all other semi-skilled companies to come and set up their bases here. This is an amazing opportunity. In the core city of Hyderabad, the land costs are so high, it's not possible to accumulate, forget about 200, 300 acres, it's not possible to get even 10 acres. Now here is an opportunity, and a lot of investors are there in the audience. I think today morning I met people from Semcop, they're from Singapore, one of the biggest logistic company, and I understand, they are here. I'll request companies like them to come and invest in this Bharat Future City and make it as a manufacturing magnet, and I believe the $3 trillion economy is achieved by the combination of the services sector as well as manufacturing.
This is a golden opportunity. I'd like to thank again the government for this wonderful vision and wishing all the best to the government. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I think they have a couple of questions based upon your talk, and which I'll mention probably towards the end of the session. Sanjay, if we can discuss something on the lines of institutional framework and of course funding. 3 minutes, please.
Honorable Minister, MD at TGIIC, and my panelist colleague, first of all, thank you for inviting us for this important seminar. Are you putting presentation? Okay, I have a presentation, but I think let me just quickly go to it. I think we have already, this is established fact that cities are under leveraging potential in India, and there is a tremendous scope for cities to grow and bring employment and bring jobs. And urbanization is a critical factor. So, no, it's not moving. Yeah. Next.
So this was very much acknowledged by Government of India, and this is the two publications. One is on the cities as growth hubs and creative redevelopment of cities. These are the two knowledge products actually Asian Development Bank and World Bank put together. And of course, there is another publication on harnessing economic potential for Indian cities. So based on this knowledge product, the Government of India has recently launched Urban Challenge Fund. So I wish to compliment government that you are already on this path. Cities as growth hub, this is perfectly the city what you are developing. And on the other side, creative redevelopment of cities, we have 9 typologies. And one of the typologies is riverfront development. And that also, Musi River is taken by Telangana government. And we are happy that ADB is associated with it. So, I think just on a global experience on urbanization, I think economic growth are, cities and urbanization and economic growth are intimately connected. And the underlying reason I think all my earlier speakers have talked about is agglomeration economies, where I think the step taken to get mix of industrial use, I think that's where learning through, spillover of ideas, matching input, outputs, or sharing resources, which is physical or social infrastructure, I think that helps to cities to grow. These elements are already, we heard about Honorable Minister speaking. So, economic vision, integrated economic planning and transport planning, land market utilization, governance and institutional capacity, transparency and transport and connectivity, and financing urban development. So these are some of the areas which are critical for the cities as growth. And investment has to go in, as far as the infrastructure is getting created, I think one has to ensure sustainability also, and where different sources of financing comes into play. For example, how land can be monetized, what are the market-based financing solutions, and one point is to be noted that it's only not creation of infrastructure, but it's sustainable operation and maintenance. So how can we structure the user charges and financing those, for future development? So these are some of the aspects which need to be taken into consideration. And one important point I want to make is about the role of the local governments. And we have seen international experience that local governments play a very important role, where they play, they are the decision-making authority, and that helps into cities to grow. And last but not least, what we say is that economic vision for the city is very important, and therefore city region marketing programs, investment promotion programs, creating single window clearances, master planning more on the regional level, and integrating, other sort of land records and other things, and encouraging, the urban local bodies and integrating them into the progress is important. The last point on the economic vision for the cities, what I mentioned, is, we have to decide what is this city is going to be famous for. Identify roles of the stakeholders, and like be it industry, government, investors, developers. What are the key enablers? For example, skills, land, policies, regulation, capacity building, etc. And accordingly prepare a developed strategic plan and have frequent stakeholder consultations. So these are some of the future steps to have this city. So I'll stop here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sanjay. And I think it's very fascinating to know that, although nationally, internationally, cities as economic engines is a known fact. Funding, yes, it's required, but most importantly, what you have also heard, it's also the maintenance, the operations, and the return on investments. So what are those ideal strategies, at a conceptual stage of cities design, if those could be identified, sort of inbuilt into the policies, it will actually go a very long way. Mr. Shekhar Reddy, if a quick 2 to 3 minutes in terms of sustainability and its institutional framework, please.
Minister Garu and CM Garu and the Cabinet, sir, congratulations, sir. First of all, for taking up the Bharat Future City, this entire concept. I think I want to tell a few things about the credibility of this government and the industry, how it has flourished. When 2006, we had very few brands in Hyderabad. The entire industry was unorganized, but with the GO number 86 in 2006, which has given, to decongest the core city of Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, that 176 square kilometers, we wanted to go outside the city, periphery of the city, and develop large projects, and also have a disciplined thing, and freedom to developers, planners. Then that is the reason the unlimited FSI has come outside the periphery of the city. So that has given the rise to whatever the development you are seeing today. That is the first achievement, like it's a milestone. So thereafter, the airport is another milestone, outer ring road is a milestone, metro is a milestone, and I am confident this milestone, whatever the $3 trillion, what is the goal is that definitely we will achieve because of our past track record. And I thank you, Minister Garu, for taking up the net zero concept here. And definitely the operational cost of the industries will come down because of the net zero concept. And what I like the FSI concept, sir, we have to go ahead and give out of the box incentives 10 folds or 10 times ahead of the other cities, other states. Maybe MSME is one sector where large employment creation is happening. So you can look into that, give more incentives, upfront incentives, and a plug-and-play system also you can give. And one more thing, my suggestion is, this item we have to trust the industry, like in 86 GO we trusted the developers, given self-enforcement to them. Here also give the instant permission to them on application, instant permission to give to them, allow them to function. Anything is required in the meanwhile, maybe in the 1 year time they can fulfill. I think that will bring, because time is money today. Globally people are looking for the time. If the lesser time is there, they can earn more money and commitments will be there. Definitely, that's another thing is the land use. Earlier session also people are talking about the land use, sir. The land use pattern also kindly look into it. Not only this city, rest of the state also, and try to avoid whatever the multiple taxation is there. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shekhar Reddy. May I request Shashanka sir to give a quick brief about the BFC?
Good afternoon, everyone. Honorable Minister for Industries, IT and Legislative Affairs, Sridhar Babu Garu, the other esteemed panelists for today's session, and friends of the dais. It's always difficult to hold the attention after a good meal. I hope we are able to hold your attention, and thank you for being with us today. And I take this opportunity to welcome you all again formally to the project called Bharat Future City, where we are conducting this particular session today. And just to give you the context, since Bharat Future City has been planned as one of the ambitious projects of this government, the entire venue and this setup, we could come up with this in the last 20 days with all the hard work. So I'm sure you can trust us with the project progress also in the days to come. My esteemed panelists have already mentioned, along with the Minister, sir, many points about this particular project. So without taking much of your time, Future City Development Authority is an extension of the successful model of our state, which is Hyderabad Metropolitan Development Authority, wherein it will concentrate, it will be a fusion of urban transformation on the planning part and also energizing the rapid industrial development through policy making. So this will be spread across around 765 square kilometers, around 1,80,000 acres, wherein the core will be the industrial smart city named by our Honorable Chief Minister, which is Bharat Future City. As it has already been mentioned, Bharat Future City stands on 3 strong pillars: resilient infrastructure, with an attempt for sustainable living, and to have more creative and dynamic economic model. As we see across the world, the cities have been the growth engines. This state already had the benefit of 3 cities. Now we are trying our best to come up with another growth pole with all these ingredients as a 4th city, the future city. I request all of you to stay tuned and continue this panel discussion. Thank you.
All right. So, first of all, thank you all the, the panelists, and a lot of points were discussed. So why these things were being discussed, I made some notes. I have few, specific questions. Maybe we'll start with Minister, sir, if I may. Sir, in what aspect or component of Bharat Future City excites you the most?
You've asked a difficult question, but all aspects are very, very close to, dear to us. Absolutely, I may be a little partial when it comes to my own ministry as an IT and industry, But all aspects are very, very dear and close to our government and our Chief Minister. So all aspects, well, I told about each district, all these districts which we are, trying to see that they become the best asset of the state as well as to the nation. And it shall be the first of a kind for the global arena. So very difficult question.
Yeah.
Sure, Ms.
No, I think it's a great answer because that's what all of us were expecting. Because in cities, it's almost like, having your own child, children. So every aspect of a city is close to you, whether it's a new development, roads, infrastructure, or parks, open spaces, and so on and so forth. Shashanka sir, a quick one. You mentioned about FCDA. If I may ask, how do you foresee, FCDA which can strategically unlock, the development potential for Bharat Future City?
So, FCDA, Future City Development Authority, as I mentioned, is the planning. It provides that planning framework, like how a city should be, or probably what we lack in our cities largely is the planning aspect, which we want to plug in here and make sure with a proper sustainable master plan. And Shekhar Reddy garu was mentioning about land use, and others were also mentioning about the funding pattern. For all this to happen, a lot of policy tweaking is required, which we want to bring in, make it more business friendly, and also come up with a city which caters to every section of the society. Our Minister sir was mentioning about residential complexes for the working class. Right. So all kinds of aspects we want to attend to. So FCDA is a platform, is an enabler which provides the direction for the 765 square kilometers, so which we miss out in our existing cities and towns. Right. So we wanted to push this greenfield idea through FCDA. Thank you.
Yeah, see, isn't that fascinating, although we are talking about Bharat Future City, around 14,000 acres, but here the vision is around 8,000 square kilometers. So just imagine, the steps that the state government and specifically FCDA is taking in this aspect. 800 square kilometers, yeah. All right, so there's few more. I know we talked about, the market aspect, sustainability, institutional framework, real estate. But maybe I'll just pose one question, and from your perspective, start with Sudeep, then Shekhar, then Sanjay, then Sandeep. What role the private sector can play in this journey of making, Bharat Future City achieve its, the long-term objectives? So, starting with Sudeep, you.
So, I had mentioned about the importance of institutional framework and the private sector to be a very active participant in the entire governance framework. So it's because this is, at the end of the day, a long journey which has to be kind of driven by both the government and the private sector. So my own sense is that the government can only take decisions if the inputs from the investors and the private sector is right and appropriate. And there has to be some kind of a mechanism to kind of, bring them on board and ensure transparency.
Mike.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I'll just quickly repeat what I've said. In terms of the institutional and the governance framework, it's really important for the private sector to be a very important participant in this entire, and this is a very good example of why we are all here. Until the investors and the private sector gives its proper and honest input, whether it's in terms of demand, in terms of willingness to pay, what kind of infrastructure they need, what type of phasing is required, the project cannot kind of, achieve its end objective. So I would really look for a platform where, which gives an open platform for the private sector to actually give its inputs transparently. So that would be my take on this. Thank you.
Shekhar Reddy. Yes.
My take on this is private sector can do a lot in achieving this 3 trillion economy, provided no the I've been saying for the last 2 decades under PPP model, that is only the futuristic, wherein if the state can take all the statutory approvals upfront and declare to the investors globally that if you are a bidder, can start your project next week onwards. So that will encourage many investors to support the entrepreneur. So that is most important, sir, because the time is essence today. And all type of Honorable Minister has said a lot of social infrastructure and other related, any industry, globally and as well as with Telangana developer friends, fraternities sitting here, CA members, everybody, they are eagerly looking what type of ease of doing business is going to happen here so that they can collaborate with globally with the potential people, whether it's a manufacturing or a service sector or an IT, the startup companies. Anyway, but it all depends what is the vision document is going to be, and it has to be out of the box. I have to say, sir, whenever we used to tell something in the government, people used to look at, I think he's not saying the meaningful thing. But when I repeatedly said over a period of time and again, they understood that meaning, then implemented. So we have seen the results, sir. So this has to be done. We should be ahead of other states tenfold. We should come out of the box. Because we are not losing anything, sir. See, land is there, person is there. If some mistakes are there, anybody can correct it. So that is the reason I'm requesting once again, trust the industry. Leave it to them, because they are bringing the funds. So enjoy the fruits, sir, because you need a lot of employment and downstream GST. That is what my wish, sir.
Sure.
Would be good to know what's the government's perspective of
Yes,
private sector.
You know, in this sort of economies, the economy definitely is, most of the economies are driven by the private partners. And if you see the India at large and states at large, all states including India at the federal level, we take welfare as a priority. In the development, although it's on our agenda, we take the cooperation and coordination of the private players. Most of the capital assets of late have been created by the private parties or the private players, and that tends to show there is a lots of difference in the policy making, also giving lots of scope for the private players to come and participate and grow together in the government. So we in this Future City Development Corporation too, we invite esteemed private players to come and participate and be a part of this development. We welcome everybody over here to what capacities, depending upon their strengths in their domain expertise. We will welcome them with open arms. And many a time I hear Mr. Shekhar Reddy speaking what government should do. We take it in a very positive sense. Our government definitely is a proactive state which shall try to put the policies to the spirit of our private players, safeguarding the government interests. And this is one of the beautiful aspects of our government. Right now I can claim ease of doing business in Telangana is supposed to be #1 in whole of India. And we are coming up ease of doing business, the policy reforms 2.0, so that we can propel what we are having a great ambition of making 3 trillion economy, to grow each and every sector or every department in the government has to propel itself. Either it maybe in their attitude, maybe in their functioning style, maybe in delivery systems. We have to literally see that our delivery systems work in consonance with the thought of a political leader, because we have a political will and intent.
how best we can put it across to our partners in the bureaucracy and down-level bureaucracy and see that their cooperation moves ahead. All the positive suggestions, what they have been mentioned. And, there are a couple of other issues. If you, Mr. Shah permits, I'll try to, act up on this, what Joshiji was telling about, river water development and the role of local governments. Definitely, we always see decentralization is an important aspect of running the administration. And in building this Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, right now, we have combined the villages, we have combined small municipalities, and we have combined them into the corporation, trying to bring in uniformity in terms of the land, in terms of other services required. Otherwise,
as you know, local administration, the village has a different systems of administration. The tax collection or the running of functioning of the Gram Panchayats is different. Coming down to the next level, the small municipalities functions on a different level.
And the corporation functions on a different level to bring in a parity and uniformity. So we have assimilated Gram Panchayats, many Gram Panchayats, small municipalities into corporation. And we will now try to put into picture this Greater Hyderabad municipal corporations will be divided into 3 or 4 zones where the uniformity will be spread. We really respect whatever you have said, that the local self-government's involvement will be there all the time,
so that we bring the delivery systems into action in a very smart and very faster way. So definitely I would agree for that. And in fact, I have to thank Mr. Sandeep Ji for, looking at this
beautiful arena and what is the vision of our government. He himself thought of becoming a brand ambassador for this, and thanks for that. And, Sudhir ji has told about how do you design it, how do you see the convergence between different industries coming into one aspect, the convergence, how it takes in terms of multi-sectoral disciplines which are coming over here. Definitely we are just thinking, I've told, everything is related to few of the core sectors like skilling, like approvals, like design approvals, and how do we link AICT to different verticals of the industries over here? How do I link the skills to here? How do I link the coming up data centers, which almost all the industries require? Now everything is moved on AI, or the cutting edge technologies which require data centers. So all this convergence takes at one place. So this we are duly considering it at the highest level, and we are trying to see that how best we can really converge these multi-sectoral districts, which shall give a comprehensive output for their own this thing. And Shekhar Reddy always keeps on asking out-of-box incentives. We will provide the professional, no out-of-box, sir. We will do more out-of-box incentives for all the things, and we shall strive to see that this city grows. As you know, my MD is sitting here. Lots of credence has to go to Mr. MD and the team for, anywhere when a political leader thinks about doing this concept. And it's the political thought, what we thought of doing it. When we have put this, the implementation is done by our bureaucracy. And execution is done at a faster level. In 3 weeks' time, a smaller version of the city has been built. So already our work is on this Future City Development Corporation. Earlier to this, we had Skills University, which is almost on the verge of finishing. And we have Amazon data center, which we are extending it to 400 acres now. That becomes the data centers park. And we are coming up with other, Hyderabad Cricket Association ground over here, which shall be the biggest ever cricket ground over here. In few months from now, we'll be doing the groundbreaking. So process is on. How well you take it is our, destiny, and how JLL takes or other big consultants who are here. We would wish to take them at the same length and same favor and move from here. Thank you, Mr. Shah.
So, to Vishal, to your question of what is the role of private sector, I can say the government is an enabler. Government is a facilitator. The main role is the private sector. I'll give you a beautiful example. What was the fate of sports as an industry, sports as a career, say, before IPL, right? So, the IPL, while it is comes under the purview of government India, BCCI is an autonomous in India. Now, IPL has completely changed the way sports is seen, perceived as a career. And because of IPL, whether it is volleyball league, the baseball league, or the Kabaddi league. By the way, Kabaddi is the second largest league in India after cricket. The millions of people. What I'm trying to say is that this is all because of private participation, all because of private efforts. And if you want to succeed for this Bharat Future City, government is an enabler, is a facilitator. It has to be different private companies who are going to come and spend their money and get it successful. Absolutely, it's private companies who are going to do it.
Yeah, I think this type of a this type of a large development is impossible without having private investment. This plays very significant role, and primarily, I mean, apart from infrastructure investment, private sector can bring in a lot of digital governance in terms of technology, smart grid, or renewables, as well as climate change. So these are all, I think, very much ingredients private sector can bring in this case. Another two areas I can think of is skills and workforce development is another area which private sector can bring. And lastly, global best practices, because we want to see this city as one of the global hub. And I think just on a question on the government side, I think mostly focus on institutional and governance aspect where stable policy environment and clear sort of standardized type of contracts, clear dispute resolution mechanisms, and transparent procurement process. These are some of the elements where private sector finds comfort. So,
yes,
yeah.
I agree to your point, Joshiji. Here what we mentioned about, we will be open to all
to private players, to the sector specific,
and as rightly said by Sandeep, we will just be the facilitator.
the city has been conceptualized.
Mostly built by the private players. Except in few areas where the government intervention is required, where the public education is required, where the public health is required, there the regulatory framework will be involved. Other than that, it shall be enabler as per you. And at the same time, the dispute resolution and procurement or the distribution or we will set certain standards which shall be level playing, which shall be more accountable, which shall be transparent. And these are areas where we are keen about because we are working in a democratic polity where we will be accountable and has to be transparent. This is the thing what we will take into consideration. And any other suggestions from your side? Because ultimately this city which we are trying to put up should be a city devoid of any issues or the legal disputes or any sort of a trouble for our investor over here. That will take due diligent care in while delivering the systems for them.
All right, I think we are running, we are anyways crossed, the time limit which we had, and there's a lot of other points to discuss. But just to, conclude before the vote of thanks that, cities don't get built overnight. We all know that. You saw, where, when the minister sir was initially mentioning about the aspiration of building something so large, that too, in a single phase, might sound a bit challenging, but, the government accepts that challenge. So that's number one point. Number two, the work that FCDA is doing, integrating Bharat Future City with the larger 800 square kilometer area. So, that's another sort of very aspirational visionary, but, looking at things, because from a very large scale planning perspective to a very focused area, which is the Bharat Future City. From an economic standpoint, I think this is very well known fact. Don't put or don't, focus on a single sort of a sector. So diversification in economic sector is another big takeaway. But at the same time, diversification even in housing for all income levels, that's another big takeaway. And then all of these point towards, one simple thing, that at BFC, what's been is being achieved is to create something which makes people's lives better than the day-to-day challenges which we face in multiple cities around India. But BFC is trying to achieve something, which enhances quality of life, ease of doing business, but all of these actually is doing something better for the people. So, having said that, I think with that we'll conclude the session. Well, thank you so much for all your thoughts. I wish we had another hour because there's a lot more to discuss. This is not a subject that can be covered in 1 hour. It's a very fascinating area, but this is what we had the time. So I think, thank you so much for all your input.
Thank you, sir. I now request Minister Garu to felicitate our panelists on stage. Mr. Sudeep Kumar Sinha ji. Mr. C. Shekhar Reddy. Mr. C. Shekhar Reddy. Mr. Sanjay Joshi. Mr. Sandeep Patnaik. And the moderator for this session, Mr. Vishal Kundra. I request Minister Garu and our panelists to please step forward for a group picture, please. So that was indeed an insightful conversation about Bharat Future City, which stands just more than a project. It definitely represents the scale of Telangana's ambition and its confidence in shaping the next chapter of the India's growth history. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our panelists who are here to join us in this panel session. That was our third panel session of the day, day 2 of the Telangana Rising Global Summit 2025. Thank you once again, sir. Thank you one and all for joining us on stage. As we move on to the next session, a very interesting session, I'm sure, definitely for people from Telangana, because we have our directors, producers, actors, not only from Tollywood but also from Bollywood, to have a very insightful conversation about Cinema Rising 2047. As India moves towards 2047, the centenary of its independence, Indian cinema is entering into its most transformative era ever. Cinema Rising 2047 represents a future where creativity, technology, culture, global collaboration come together to shape a bold, new identity for Indian storytelling. 2047 cinema will no longer be limited to screens. It's going to be much more than that. And to talk and to have a meaningful discussion, we have panel, I just can't tell them panel, we have heroes, we have heroines from Bollywood and Tollywood. Mari andaru nalage edur chustunnara? Entamandi edur chustunaru? Okkasari gattiga vinocha? Are you all looking forward for this? ओके तेलुगु समझ में नहीं आ रहा है किसी को? ओके चलो, आज हमारे यहाँ पर इस पैनल डिस्कशन में शामिल होने वाले हैं हमारे बॉलीवुड के कुछ ऐसे कलाकार और टॉलीवुड के कुछ ऐसे कलाकार और प्रोड्यूसर्स, डायरेक्टर्स जिनको हमने देखा है, उनको आपने उनके मूवीज में एक्टिंग करते हुए देखा है, एज अ डायरेक्टर, एज अ प्रोड्यूसर भी देखा है, और आज वो हमारे सामने इस पैनल डिस्कशन में शामिल होने वाले हैं. आई एम लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू having a great evening. Please sit back, relax, enjoy the conversation, and we'll see you in a while.